special needs and disabilities. And many of our children are facing disabilities and special needs, and we don't always know how to put them on the right track, how to make sure they have all the resources they need as they're growing older, as they're shifting needs in their different phases of childhood and even into adulthood. This episode gives us a resource to really help connect us and our families with special needs and children with disabilities to resources they need so they're on track for learning and stay on track for success. Hi, thank you so much for joining the Falling for Learning podcast. I am TD Flenaugh. We have this podcast to help parents and caregivers with having the resources, strategies, and tools needed to make sure that their children are on track for learning and to stay on track for success. Welcome, Mark Fafard. So how are you doing, Mark?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. So I really I'm glad that you came on our show to talk about your My Needs Network. It's summer months. How is the summer treating you? What do you have going on?
It's good. We've had there's been a couple of good conferences this summer. There's a couple more coming up. A lot of things happening this summer. It's been really good. We have some builds that we're doing in the My Needs Network platform, and moving some projects forward as well.
Okay, so we're going to get into the My Needs Network that you're going to tell us all about and the resources and the network that you're creating. But before we get into that, we always like to ask our guests, like, what made you fall in love with learning? What really sparked your passion for learning when you're a child or youth?
I would say it was a couple of things. Maybe traveling a little bit overseas did it, and that encouraged me to. Yeah, and that was shortly after I got out of the Navy. I spent some time overseas for a while, just kind of traveling around on my own, and also, and then once I got into college, that was where it really kind of took off for me. I admired my professors. I admired the coursework and the different materials that we were, we had to read and review, and so that was probably what launched me into where I am now.
Wow. So, well, thank you for your service. And so you're saying you didn't really get into learning or school until you got older and the traveling was really. So that's something that is interesting. Like some people get into it early, learning, but you kept doing what you're supposed to do, and got into the you said Navy? Sorry if I missed it.
Yeah, the Navy, and my parents encouraged me as well too. Over the years too, growing up, and that was very helpful also. But really getting into the field that I'm in now, it was probably more in college where it kind of drove me into this direction.
Nice. So tell us about your field, like your education background and how you got into doing the My Needs Network, which you're going to tell us all about coming soon.
So yeah, sure. So I have a background in research, predominantly in the social sciences, you could say, but mostly in healthcare. So um, so I was working as a research manager in 2016, and I was working for a clinic that focuses on medical complexities for pediatrics. And it was there that we just continued to come across the need for improvement to accessing resources within this medical complexity subpopulation.
Okay.
And we would hear it over and over again. We would hear it at conferences. We would see this results come through on a grant that we were working under as well. And so from there, we took it. Myself and our principal investigator, we and a few other folks on our team, we built out a independent research study. through the university.
Okay.
And from there, we were able to learn a lot more about those needs, categorize them, identify reoccurring themes with those needs, and really do something with that, with the research findings, and kind of validate, if you will, what we had been hearing over the years.
Can you tell us more about the medical complexity? So yes, I don't. Can you tell us a little bit more for the viewers and myself?
Sure. The other way you could put it would just be it was a pediatric office, so
Hmm.
it was a pediatric clinic, I should say, and it was a variety of individuals with disabilities,
Okay.
and different variety of severity, types of disabilities. And so the overall question was, what is it that these parents and families need,
Yes.
clinical, non-clinical, to improve their quality of life? Uh, so that was our starting point. That was the starting point. The research that kind of got My Needs Network going unexpectedly. And but today we also cover adults, pediatrics, and adults.
Okay.
So
So tell us all about the My Needs Network, how, what it is, and then do, how does it benefit the greater community?
sure. So My Needs Network is a networking service provider designed specific for the disabled community. It is set to be a nationwide tool. We got started in Florida, and so of course, to and we are in the process of building out into other states. So as of right now, a lot of the resources are in Florida, but that doesn't matter. I mean, if you're out of state, or if you're in another state, we still strongly encourage you to use My Needs Network, connect with us on through My Needs Network. We can still help in way in to help identify and find resources. But so it's a nationwide networking service provider, and we it was founded unexpectedly from the research study, which we've now published on,
Right.
and it was a 2-year study looking at how to improve quality of life for individuals with disabilities. And so with all that information that we had after the 2 years, we decided to take it more of an entrepreneur route and try to build something tangible that parents and families could use uh, right away, and have it reflect the findings in the research, which was for parents and families to have a free, easy to use tool that helps them connect with other parents, helps them connect with other resource providers, and find resources specific for people with disabilities. So it's a network, and it's been building out, and it's building out a network, and so it goes beyond uh, a database, or it goes beyond services within a nonprofit, or anything of that sort. It's much bigger than that. So
Right. So bringing people together, resources together with the people who need it. So
yeah.
if I give you a scenario, if I have a child with disability, who is now 24, and she's looking for a job, how would I use the My Needs Network?
So there's a few different ways. So the one is you would go into My Needs Network, myneedsnetwork.org, create an account. It takes about 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes as an individual. If you're a social worker, and maybe a few more minutes, just because we can help promote your business, and we want your business to succeed as a social worker or a social working service. So you create that, and then you create your listing, and then or your account, and then you're able to access multiple tools to help you connect uh, with that exact need. So you would literally take what you just said, your description, and you could copy paste that into different tools and get that out to multiple organizations all over the country, depending on the category of need. You could
So,
also, and then there's also, you could also see what the resources we have in our database which again, the database is a fraction of what we do. It's a important fraction, but it's a fraction.
Okay.
That's not what we're defined as. Is we're not. It's a tiny piece. Um, but then the other piece would be that you can all, if you're having trouble, because time is of the essence. Time is, individuals with family members with disabilities. We understand that time is limited,
Yeah.
and so the start could be as simple as an email to our team, and then
Okay.
we take it and start looking from there. And we work with the families until we have some resources to kind of hand off to them.
Wonderful. Okay. And again, that is a range of disabilities, physical disability or like learning disability or other kind of, yeah. Okay.
Correct. And
So
and anywhere in the country. It doesn't really matter. Rural, urban, just it doesn't matter.
And so I could just call, I mean, email and get a call, or you guys will work with me and my daughter in this case to get, to connect her to resources, to finding a job or interviewing or something like that. Or I could just go in, create my own, um, like profile for my daughter, and then she and I could work together, you know, through the platform to reach out to different resources. So there'll be different people in the network that will yeah, different companies or whatever that I could like sign up with per se, and then they would be reaching back out to me. Is that correct? The Rewrite Method and the Rewrite Method Workbook are your go to resource for helping kids to learn to fall in love with writing. It has the tips, tools, resources, strategies, and skill building activities to help kids fall out of writing hate and into loving to write. Get your book set today.
Yeah, you'd be able to connect with them, and then we could be doing, and it could be a combination of both. Ideal,
Okay.
that would be a great way to do it too.
Okay.
So,
All right. And so go
So
ahead.
for example, a lot of times, over the years, we've heard things like, "Oh, this organization or this Facebook group does the same kind of thing," and that you're doing, and we typically say, "Well, great. If that's the case, if that's what they're doing is helping people connect with resources, then we need to add them onto My Needs Network. We don't see them as a competitor. We want to promote them because they're working well. It's if it's a company that's been doing that and people are happy with that service, then we want to promote that service. So
Okay.
so we don't see ourselves as a competitor with a very successful parent Facebook group or a very successful national nonprofit or a local nonprofit or a local
Okay.
business or national business. We want to promote those businesses. If that's working well, we want them to continue. We want them to work even better.
Okay. All right. So that's an important distinction. It's a network and you're not in competition with others. You're just really trying to connect resources to the people, families that need it. Make sure that those organizations that offer services are known and have, access to people who need those resources as well.
Right,
Okay.
right, and then exactly, and then we do. There's a whole other level of support we provide for those organizations because again, we want them to be successful because they know the details of the category of area that they focus on, and we want those organizations to be successful as well. So, Miney's Network is there to support them.
Okay. So for our audience, you can go to what is the website?
MyNeedsNetwork.org.
So myneedsnetwork.org. And if you are a parent, you could register your child and information in there, right? And if you
Yes,
are in, go
and you
ahead.
don't even need. There's not even much information you have to register. You just put in an email. All we need is an email address, so you can receive updates, and
Okay.
so we have a way to contact you outside of the network.
And if you have an organization, you also want to register on there as well. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
And it's to the organization's best interest that you put a little bit more information in so you can receive referrals, leads, promote yourself. It's kind of it's some multiple marketing tools for organizations, big and small.
Great. Okay. So, about how many people do you have working, in your network right now? People like clients per se, and then like organizations.
We have around I didn't look at the numbers over these last I haven't looked at the numbers over the last week or two, but I want to say we have about 30 to 40,000 visitors um, over the last 2 months, and we have our database has about 15,000 organization resources in the database, and and then we work with uh, several partners on a regular basis. We're co-owned by University of Florida, and we and we keep, and like I said, we keep everything free and easy to use. So there's it's not like you hit a wall and now you have to pay a subscription fee or to
Wonderful.
access. It's not set up that way. Our business
Okay.
model is completely separate.
So you're mentioning that your research about what, that actually led to creating the My Needs Network. There's like a peer-reviewed publication or something like that we can read as well for the
Yes, yeah,
audience.
absolutely. So the research itself was done between 2016 and 2018. And then we switched in 2018, we switched into ways to build and design the something that reflected the needs that came out of the needs and requirements that came out of the research findings. So, for example, how are we going to build this and make sure it's free? How are we going to make sure it's easy to use? What types of tools need to be added into this to be appealing to parents to where they can easily connect or and organizations. So so from 2018, uh, we switched into kind of building, designing, validating, and testing. And then in 2024, that's why our numbers are around the 30,000 users. That's why we're I wouldn't say it's on the lower end, but for our standards, we are because we need to be nationwide. So we want to be
Yeah.
looking at millions. Uh, but we've really only started hitting our marketing campaign since this past January.
Okay. All right.
So we're really kind of fresh out of the gate because we've been building since 2018. So when we published the publication, it's a pretty good sized publication, but the publication covers it's the way we used our methodology. It's called community based participatory research, and we used that in during the research phase. And what that means is we engage the community in the research component in driving the research itself, not just collecting information from the community. So, and that's a kind of a brief explanation of it, but we also continue to use community-based participatory research methodology after the research in our builds, in our implementing, our validating, and designs, and even marketing. So it. We recently published. The publication came out earlier this year, and it covers the past. Really covers the history of My Needs Network from 2016.
Okay. And so, what's the name of the publication again?
It's a long title. I will send you the link. I'll
Okay,
send
it'll
you the
be
link.
in the show notes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Um, what kind of advice would you give to parents who just really feel that their school, they just really haven't found the right resources they need to help their kids go to whatever that next level is, like the right middle school, or maybe it's the right uh, after high school learning program. What advice would you give them?
So I guess a couple of things when it comes to My Needs Network. If you it is to use it. It's what you make of it. With My Needs Network, My Needs Network is kind of like an empty house that was built for you.
Hmm.
It's built for you. It's just time for you to move in, move your furniture in, and start living out of it. Start using it. The
Okay.
more you use it, the more functional it'll be. And using it also includes the one-on-one support, the tools, and getting in there. It doesn't take a long time to use it. It just takes a email login and to get in there and start utilizing. The other piece outside of My Needs Network, and I've kind of seen this over the years, I feel, is talk to the other parents, the parent advocates. You see those a lot out of children's hospitals, um, social workers. Those they are those groups of support levels of support are very very valuable, and
Okay.
they know all kind. They're on top of all the resources out there, the new policy updates. They stay up to date on quite a bit. The parent advocates are great because then they can connect uh, pretty easily, and they understand where the parent in need is coming from. They can relate very easily.
Okay, that's wonderful. I want to circle back because you said something about the one-on-one support. Can you tell us more about that?
So, sure. So going back to your example, I think it was if your daughter, as an adult now, was looking for employment with a mental behavioral disability. Was it something along
Yep,
those lines?
it's just a
So
scenario. Yeah.
okay, so if you were looking for something along those lines, and you could always send us an email, tell us just exactly that and where you're looking for those resources, like the zip code or the general area, and
Okay.
we would be able to help provide that help as well. So we it's easier for us to operate by email because then we can move that sentence around without having to change it, without getting the sentence getting or the need getting shifted around.
I see what you're saying. Because if I'm telling you, then just it's you may have heard it wrong or you may have missed something. And if I
Right.
email you, you could see all of the things that I put. I'm not. It's nothing's left out, and making sure you really don't miss anything. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
great.
Exactly.
Okay, so the one-on-one support, yeah, once you email, they can contact you and help you really find what you need. Um, yeah, and I really like that is such a gem, reaching out to those parent advocates at the Children's Hospital in different places, so that you are, you know, finding multiple ways to reach, to get the needs that you need for your child.
And speaking of parent advocates, one of the things that we're working on, it's 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 coming up on the pipeline. It's coming. It's it's about to we're about to start building on this now. Is creating a place in My Needs Network where it's easier for people to connect with those family advocates
Okay.
all over the country, and also a place in My Needs Network where family advocates can better benefit, and social workers can benefit in their jobs. So what is it that they need to do their jobs better? So we're there to kind of support those family advocates again, so we can help them. The more successful they are, the more they're able to provide for those parents and families in direct need.
Absolutely.
We've been able to find some discounted contract work for them and also help set them up in directions to where they can find some financing or some funding.
Okay. Well, We really appreciate you coming on to our show. Our audience members, we thank you for watching us and following us, and we're in our season 3. Make sure that you're doing something today that gives your child the competitive advantage. Thank you so much for joining us, Mark.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again for supporting the Falling for Learning podcast. New episodes go live every Saturday at 5 p.m. You can watch us on youtube.com at Falling for Learning or listen on all major podcast platforms such as Apple, Google, Audible, Spotify, and much more. For more resources, visit fallinginlovewithlearning.com. We really appreciate you. Have a wonderful week.